Hello Pokemon fans and welcome back to the Pokemon Report. Today we are starting a new series on the channel. Ever since we took our first steps into the Kanto region, we have all been fascinated with these amazing creatures called Pokemon. It has been over 20 years since we woke up in Pallet Town, and during those years we have visited 7 regions and met over 800 Pokemon. Very soon we will be visiting a brand new region and we will get a chance to meet even more Pokemon. With the release of every generation, trainers of all ages eagerly await the arrival of new Pokemon, and as soon as we catch our first glimpses, we spend hours poring over the images and theorizing about how we will interact with our new friends. We have seen some amazing designs for these Pokemon over the years, but it seems as if some Pokemon designs get a bit reused. Today we're going to be looking at a fan favorite, Pikachu. Pikachu quickly became the mascot for the Pokemon franchise. There are very few people in the world who can't tell you Pikachu's name, including people who have never played Pokemon. Because of Pikachu's popularity, we have been introduced to other Pokemon over the years that seem a bit too familiar. In today's video, we are going to be showing you the Pikachu from every generation. We were first introduced to Pikachu in Generation 1, and we got a whole game dedicated to having a Pikachu in your party. This game was later remade into Let's Go Pikachu, but Pikachu has been the subject of other Pokemon offshoot games as well. Generation 2 had the impossible task of building on the worldwide phenomenon that was Pokemon, without completely destroying the franchise with even one small mistake. Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, in my opinion, did an excellent job of building on the world established in Generation 1, while also expanding it to great new heights. With the re-release of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, this was even more apparent. In order to help ease us into this new region, Johto introduced baby Pokemon. We met some incredibly interesting babies that really helped to bolster some favorites from Gen 1 that needed some love. But how could we introduce baby Pokemon without giving a baby evolution to Pikachu? The Pichu is the first baby Pokemon in the Pokedex and has clear visual connections to Pikachu. This is one Pokemon I can certainly get on board with. Johto also introduced us to the Pokemon Marill and Azumarill. We got to see images of Marill, and it was even in anime featurettes before Generation 2 was released. There were tons of rumors out there that this Pokemon could be found in the original games by using glitches, much the same way Mew and Missingno could be found. Marill quickly became known as Pika Blue due to its striking similarity to Pikachu. Although there is plenty different about these two Pokemon, from typing to design, we can definitely see the inspiration drawn from our electric mouse friend. When we reached the Hoenn region, we not only got one knockoff Pikachu, we got 2! Plusle and Minoon, the cheering Pokemon, often appear as a pair. We can clearly see the similarities to Pikachu with these guys. The color is a creamish yellow similar to that of Pikachu, and both are electric type. These Pokemon seem to be based on mice, squirrels, or some other kind of rodent, just like Pikachu. Although these Pokemon do not evolve or have any relation to each other, it is obvious that these two are based on the positive and negative electrical currents. These cute Pokemon were featured a number of times in the anime, and were also owned by both Ruby and Sapphire in the manga. These two are probably the most obvious ripoffs of the original Pikachu design. Sinnoh really tried to get away from the Pikachu knockoffs, opting to give us over 20 Pokemon that built on the evolutionary lines of previous generations. We got even more baby Pokemon, and we got new final evolutions for Pokemon we didn't even need evolutions for. Sorry, Tangrowth. But Generation 4 still couldn't escape the electric rodent hysteria. Pachirisu, the electric squirrel Pokemon, is probably the best attempt from any generation to escape the Pikachu craze. In Pachirisu, we get a completely new color palette, and even though we are still a rodent, at least we aren't a mouse again. Pachirisu, with its single evolution, mediocre stats, and simple design, has been relegated to the PC at this point, as with most of the PikaClones. We can only hope that one day we will get to see some love for these forgotten Pokemon. The Unova region seemed ready to push the reset button on the entire Pokemon franchise. Here we had a Pokedex including only brand new Pokemon. Here we had fresh, new Pokemon designs without any ties to the previous region. That meant no new baby Pokemon and no new evolutions for the Pokemon we knew and loved. It was honestly kind of refreshing to see some of these Pokemon who are so unique. That is, until we got to Emolga. Emolga the Sky Squirrel Pokemon just had to continue the PikaClone tradition. Here we have another non-evolving electric rodent Pokemon. Much like its predecessor Pachirisu, Game Freak made some attempts to separate this Pokemon from Pikachu. Choosing a flying squirrel as inspiration was a great choice, but the yellow, white, and black color palette means you can't think of anything other than Pikachu. Honestly, I feel bad for some of these Pokemon. They get plenty of love in the anime, with Emolga being caught and trained by Iris, but other than serving as a counter to Pikachu on screen, this Pokemon once again has been forgotten and left in the PC. Honestly, I don't even think the Game Freak was trying to hide the ball when they created Dedenne, and we can see from its lack of major appearances in the anime and manga that this was clearly a fan service flop. Dedenne's design is basically a tiny fat Pikachu with Raichu's coloring. They may have slapped on some whiskers and changed up the tail, but we can all clearly see the heavy inspiration from our Cantonian friend. Speaking of feeling bad for a Pokemon, with its incredibly small size and no evolution to hope for in the future, it's hard to see anyone who used this Pokemon for anything serious. In Generation 7, we got to say Alola to Togedemaru, a steel and electric type rodent, probably based on a porcupine. This Pokemon was heavily featured in the anime and manga as the main partner to Sophocles. This Pokemon does a decent job of trying to get out of the PikaClone category, but its typing and shape make a clear connection. Once again, we get no further evolutions, and although Togedemaru does have some decent abilities, it ranks about as high as Tangela for base stats. Probably not a Pokemon I would have on my team. On the other hand, we were also introduced to Mimikyu, a ghost and fairy type Pokemon. Mimikyu is an outlier on this list as well. Even though it is intentionally designed to look like a Pikachu, it is at least for a good reason. This Pokemon is actually a ghost hiding inside an old rag that it is made up to look like a Pikachu in order to make friends. It is truly a tragic story, and in terms of copying the Pikachu design, I think we can definitely give Mimikyu a pass. Sometimes, plot armor is legit. As we prepared to take our first steps into the Galar region, we of course were introduced to our new PikaClone friend right away. What better way to build hype for a new game than to show us the knockoff mascot, right? Morpeko is the latest in a long line of PikaClones, taking on some of the same coloration, design elements, and of course, is partially electric type. Morpeko is interesting in that it has two forms and can change its coloration based on the form that it is in. Not much is known about Morpeko at this point because Sword and Shield have not been released yet, but we can be pretty certain that once again we will not get an evolution for this Pokemon. Hopefully Morpeko is a bit more competitive than some of its predecessors, and I'm sure we will be seeing a lot of him or her in the anime very soon. Well, there you have it, the Pikachu from every generation, 1 through 8. We can clearly see the similarities in these Pokemon from a design standpoint. When we line up all of these Pokemon next to each other, the only standout is Pachirisu. Of course, we can understand why Game Freak has chosen to go this route. With each new game, anime, and manga, we can relate to characters and Pokemon who seem more familiar to us. These PikaClones may have us rolling our eyes, but seeing a Pokemon that is vaguely familiar to us can help other Pokemon with more complex or unique designs become more acceptable as well. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of the Pikachu from every generation. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. I look forward to doing more comparisons of Pokemon across generations in the future. Comment below with what Pokemon you would like to see covered next. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and as always, thank you for watching the Pokemon Report. See you in our next encounter!